Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Bald Father Bets. We are going to do a recap of the national championship game for us, and then we're just going to do a quick recap of just the overall 2025 college football season as it pertained to us and betting. I will do another video talking a little bit about heading into 2026, as well as some landscape changes with college football, and then do we think there's any early futures plays that are worth your money, or just kind of letting you guys know how the futures market's playing out with regards to Heisman, national championship, stuff like that. This early on, those are pretty much only the futures bets that you can make. There isn't like detailed win-loss records, things like that, right? But first, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, notifications on so you know when we post. And then just interact with our content, like the videos, comment on them, share them around, anything you can do to help us grow. Never charge for the picks, just want to grow the channel. So, national championship game, we were 5-0. We had Miami plus 8.5 pregame, and then for 3 units, then we added the 2 units at halftime on Miami plus 4.5 second half. So they were down 10-0, so that meant overall Miami plus 14.5, which was the most absurd second half line I bet. I mean, sportsbooks made a killing last night, taking everyone's money because everybody was all over Miami or all over Indiana. But the second half line, like, I think they cleaned up even more, because if you watch that first half, like, Miami was dominating the line of scrimmage. Like, I'm completely beating the shit out of Indiana at the line of scrimmage. And for that line to be Indiana minus 4.5, and then it went out to Indiana minus 5.5. It's just absurd. It's just absurd. It just shows you why sportsbooks make so much money. People are so stupid. It's insane. So the game, Indiana's right tackle, by the way, got pulled in like the second series. So for everyone who was saying, no, he's not that big of a liability, or it's the right side, you were wrong. And I was right, and I'm going to call it on that one, because it has nothing to do with picks. It just has to do with how I don't really ever get arrogant about my picks. I do get arrogant about, like, calling how a game's going to go, and people just saying outlandish things, like that Indiana's right side of their offensive line was good. And the left tackle, who was thought to be, I think he's all Big Ten. Might be All-American second. I can't remember. He lost himself some money last night. He lost himself some money in the NFL draft last night for sure, because he got absolutely exposed. Miami's pass rush, they registered 3 sacks. They had 6 TFLs, and Mendoza rarely ever did not throw from pressure. Miami played the better game overall for sure, mainly due to the line of scrimmage play. But the blocked punt from Indiana, as well as the 2 clutch 4th down conversions, I'm going to come to those, and the clutch 3rd down conversion gave Indiana the win, which is exactly a microcosm of their season, just in that they do every little thing right to edge them out. And in a game where they get beat unless they do those things right, they did them right to another degree, and it won them a national championship. I cannot stress enough how impressive what Indiana did is. I don't think people actually truly understand the context of what they did. And we're going to talk a little bit about it in terms of what it means for roster construction moving forward. And I understand they have an older experienced roster, all those things. In football, this isn't basketball. Like, I don't think people understand what it means to take inferior, smaller, slower, not as strong guys and win 16 football games in a row at FBS Division I level. In fact, I know people don't understand it. So what they did is beyond incredible, actually. I texted College Football with Sam early on. I was like, "Oh, Miami's going to win the game." to win that game last night with how much they got physically dominated is almost unbelievable, actually. To lose a game at the line of scrimmage the way they lost that game at the line of scrimmage, but still have enough key runs up the middle, blocking downfield, defensive secondary stops where it's just a pure pass breakup by the defensive back when Miami would have had a completion, and then timely play calling, perfection from Indiana. It's one of the most impressive things I've seen. It's a testament to them. It's a testament to their players. It's a testament to Cignetti. It's a testament to the program. Just unbelievable, actually. It is the most incredible story in college football since what Bill Snyder did with Kansas State. You could argue which one's more impressive. Kansas State was talking about like ending their football program when he came around. Indiana was the most losingest program in P4 in college history. They're both pretty equally impressive. The fact that IU went 16-0, won a national title, I'd probably give the edge to IU. But what those two coaches did in respect of those are the two most impressive things I've ever seen. The 4th and 5 towards the goal line, not the first 4th. The first 4th and 5 with the the back shoulder catch to Becker. That's just an unbelievable catch by Becker. Miami knew it was coming. You could see, like, it wasn't like the Miami defensive back like got pushed back and he was wide open. Like, they knew what was coming, and Becker just stopped it. And we told you guys before the game, the third key to that game was going to be how do the refs call it. The refs were letting Miami get away with a lot in the secondary. Especially when I started seeing that too, I was like, this is going to be really hard for Indiana to win this game. Miami got away with a ton in the secondary, and Miami got away with a ton of extra physicality after the whistle that did not get called. I think they called it a little bit in the second half because it was almost so egregious they had to, and Sig made that comment at halftime on national TV, and you know that gets back to him. But they still were letting him get away with a ton. So just an unbelievable play by Becker when he's getting mauled by the Miami defender. The 4th and 5 where Mendoza scores the touchdown that ultimately is probably the deciding factor, right? Because if he doesn't there, that's a stop. And Miami's offense wasn't really getting stopped in regular fashion at that point in the game. Indiana didn't really have it anymore on defense. They were gassed. That play call is perfection. So on all of the other 3rd and 4th downs where it wasn't an obvious run situation, Miami was going clear light box. And they were going clear light box, and they were bringing people out on the edge, and they were completely destroying Indiana off the edge and collapsing around Mendoza. And it was essentially, can he quickly enough find someone who's open to get it? If he did, then it would be a first down. If he didn't, which was more often than not, it was either a throwaway incompletion, a sack several times, or a hit while being thrown and incomplete. Indiana ran what was the exact same thing that Notre Dame ran on Miami with C.J. Carr scored the QB draw game-tying touchdown in opening week, where they saw that Miami kept doing that, and they waited to run that play at the perfect time, ran a draw up the middle against a light box. Mendoza then made a guy miss and had the highlight reel touchdown of the game. Perfection in terms of the play call. The chess match was won by Indiana last night, and that again is a stack of many key factors that allowed them to overcome probably not being the best team on the field. I'm going to talk a little bit then about the interception. That was not on Beck, so the Miami receiver never knew the ball was thrown to him. It looks like it's a very just underthrown ball. It maybe is slightly underthrown, but if the Miami receiver has his head turned around and then realizes that the ball is coming sooner, he then adjusts to make a play on that along with the Indiana defensive back, and you either have a miraculous catch, a miraculous interception, or 90% you have an incomplete pass because they're both going up for it. The way it looked, because the Miami defender never knew the ball was being thrown to him, you can see it. Like he has, you can watch it. His head's never turned around, and then he just sees it get intercepted, and he's like, "Fuck." But because he didn't know that, then the Indiana player just had an uncontested catch on it. I don't. Some people are saying the Indiana defender baited it in the beginning. I think he just got beat. I think he just got beat off the line, honestly, and then got lucky that ball was slightly underthrown, and the Miami wide receiver never knew it was coming. But really good sound play by Indiana across the board. They were sound defensively all night long. They never gave up anything because they weren't sound. They just gave up some stuff because they weren't as good. They were the inferior team. I thought Beck played as well as you could ask him to. I didn't necessarily love some of the early passing play calls from Miami. There wasn't enough short, quick things to get like Tony and stuff the ball early. I thought that could have helped them early on have the success offensively that they had last drive of the second quarter on. But that's me being a little ticky-tacky. You still have to settle into the game and kind of figure stuff out. I didn't really have too big of an issue with the play calling either way. Honestly, I thought both coaches did well. I just think Indiana won the chess match more. There's a few key things. The 4th and 5. Obviously the punt block. Like there's a few key things where Indiana won that chess match. If the punt block doesn't happen, who wins the game? I don't know, because Miami was punting like close to their own end zone anyway. So odds would tell you Indiana's going to get points out of that drive, depending on, because like it wasn't like Miami was having great punts all night. Like they were punted pretty short. So Indiana's probably going to get a field goal out of that. It was such a momentum swing, you could make the argument Miami's going to win. But again, Indiana had them in terms of the chess match. So I don't know. I don't know if Miami still wins it if they don't get that punt blocked or not. There's an argument to be made. I could hear it either way. It was the key turning point in the game. It doesn't mean that it was 100% necessary for IU to hold on to get the win. All in all, best national championship game we've had since 2021 with Bama and Georgia. Phenomenal way to end the season. Super happy that we actually had a competitive championship game after what we've had the past few years. And hat tip to one of the most impressive college football seasons I've ever seen. That has nothing to do with where I think that team like ranks all time in terms of they played other teams or anything. I'm not even going to have that discussion because it's a pointless conversation. Each season is its own season, and two teams from two different years are never going to play each other. So I don't know why we waste our time having the conversation. So overall, we were 372, 292, and 19 on college football this year. I think that's right. You can check the bio in my page, but I think that's right. 372, 292, and 19. So positive year for us in college, obviously. Our most profitable team was Texas in terms of units. It's funny because we started the first big bet of the season was Texas-Ohio State. We had Texas for 10 units and we lost. But we hit several we hit several 15, 10, 15, 5 unit plays on them. We faded them in the non-conference against the FCS schools. They failed to cover every game. We only lost one more bet on Texas the rest of the year, or a game involving Texas the rest of the year. So they were our most profitable team. The team which we had the best record on betting on their games, if you don't take into account units, was Indiana. We only lost one game that involved Indiana. Every other Indiana game we picked the spread correctly. The one we lost, though, was Oregon, and we lost it for 20 units. So that's why they're not the most profitable team. The team that we this one's kind of funny. The team that we were least profitable on in college football this year, and again, this one made me laugh a little bit because it really did surprise me. I didn't expect this one because I didn't even remember playing that many of their games throughout the season. But then I went back on it and I was like, oh wow, yeah, we were. Was Oregon. And it does have a lot to do with the fact that we had that 20 unit play against IU. But we only picked one game correctly all year that involved Oregon, and it was when we took IU against Oregon in the first time that they matched up. So we had that play Penn State against Oregon. We lost that. We lost the IU Oregon there at the end. We won Iowa Oregon. Two plays that we'd won. We won Iowa Oregon, but it wasn't for that much. So we lost big unit plays on them, didn't win that much. That happens. It is what it is. The team that we had the worst overall record in terms of playing their games, regardless of whether or not it was a high unit play or how much actual units that it cost us in the year, was LSU. That one didn't surprise me at all. I think we won one LSU game all year. They were one where models said they should have been better than they were, and they weren't. So that's gonna get someone who bets with models. So overall, really positive year for us. Definitely one of the biggest outliers in terms of a college football season, with a team who started out the year either 100 to 1 or 150 to 1, depending on when you want to take it back to win the national title, winning the national title, going up against a team that was longer than 10 to 1 to win the national. Nobody really at that end was a big favorite to win it. And we have a very similar situation in the NFL right now, where the 4 teams left to win the Super Bowl, none of them were in the top 7 in odds. So very interesting year in terms of who ultimately prevailed. And again, we'll talk a little bit about that in a video we do later on as it pertains to roster construction and what does this mean for college football's powers moving forward. That's mainly it for now. We will be back at you again soon with a video for our picks for the NFL Conference Championship games. Get that to you here shortly. Pretty certain where we're going with both of those. And then, again, some off-season content coming for you for both college and NFL. Appreciate you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys and talk to you guys soon.